Hey guys, what's going on? I want to give an overview of today's trades on LuxAlgo. I'm going to be doing these reviews pretty much daily if I can. I'm doing 3 to 5 trades a day using the LuxAlgo system, and I've been posting the videos. If you want to learn more about the different systems that the LuxAlgo program has, and also to find all these videos in one place to look is this article. I'll leave a link in the description below. I put the videos in here, down the bottom, way down here somewhere. There we go. I also put in an updated track record as I go here, and I also put links to my special discount code to buy LuxAlgo for 30% off. So I did a deal with LuxAlgo that if you go to my own referral link here and put in the code STA30, you can get 3 months for $100, which is awesome. There's also a monthly and a yearly option as well. And totally recommend going for the longer time frames because this 30% off only applies to the first billing cycle. So if you do monthly, you'll only get 30% off the first month. If you do quarterly or yearly, you'll get 30% off the first quarter or the first year. So it works better if you do the longer time frames. It's pretty good. Highly recommend it. You'll see from my trade record that this is a system that works and is a lot of fun, and it's extremely powerful. So today I'll go through my settings again really briefly for you guys that are new to the channel or haven't been watching these reviews of LuxAlgo. I'll do that fairly briefly though, because a lot of the information can be found in the description below in these articles that I'll post. So let's have a quick overview of LuxAlgo really quick. I don't do anything fancy with it yet. I am exploring and talking about and publishing basically lots of information about the different settings, but these are the settings I use on a daily basis. They're very simple. All I have is the simple overlay signals, so you can see these in green, for example. That's the buy signals. I have a red reversal and a green reversal. These are areas that tend to be areas of support and resistance. And then on top of that, I have the smart trail, and I'll show you really quickly in the settings after I show you this what the smart trail is. So the smart trail is this red, which acts as trailing resistance, and the blue is trailing support. And so these are the trends, right? This generally indicates the trend. And so if we go into the settings really quick for you people that are using it, this is my settings. I go to confirmation. You can do these other things. I'll talk about those in other videos, and I have talked about them. I'll talk about them a bit more though as time goes on. Sensitivity I will set to 12. Smart trails on, reversal zones are on. And that's the settings that I use for all of my videos so far that I talk about my results that I do on a daily basis. So let's get started in today's results. Today was a difficult day. It wasn't the best day for me. It wasn't the worst, but it was definitely a bit of a fight. I made some silly mistakes. These are my profits for the day. I only trade SPY. So if you look at the Excel spreadsheet I have going on, you'll see that on the left-hand column here, in the tickers, it's all SPY. And you can see that today, that is the 18th, you can see that typically I'll do 3 to 5 trades on SPY using LuxAlgo every day, and that's what I've been recording since Friday. So I've only been doing this less than a week, recording these results, and so you can see the different exits and entries, the profit and loss, the percentages, and these are 0 DTE generally. Usually they're only held for half an hour or so, and I'll hold them. So there's no swing trades yet. I'll do some more swing trades and review them as time goes on. But at the moment I'm focusing on just doing very quick day trades, typically 0 DTE trades. And so you can see, like, I just put 1 day on for a whole time over here. I've started adding notes to this as well. And I'm going to make this publicly available, so there'll be a link to get access to this spreadsheet as time goes on. Not a huge amount of point doing that just now because I'm still building up data. So you can see that today was actually the worst day I've had with LuxAlgo. So this is starting at the 18th right here. So you can see this was the worst day so far, and you can see right here that the first couple of trades were winners, and then there was a couple of losers later on in the day. The nice thing is, I want to point this out, that LuxAlgo does actually help you contain your losses. So these are not 70% losing trades. I'm not bag holding these. I'm doing what the signals and my own intuition in terms of my experience tell me to do when these trades go against me based on the indicators. So you can see minus 14%, minus 5%, minus 18%, minus 12%. These are not big losses whatsoever. And I think this is what the powerful part of the system is, that it really does help you manage your trades as well as give you entries and potentially exits. It's worth pointing out, none of the results I show here are indicative of your performance. I've been trading 10 years. I'm not a particularly great trader in my opinion, but I'm also not particularly bad. So this tool is helping me a lot, but you should always use it in conjunction with your own trading ability and or some other systems that you use your own strategies or whatever. So worth pointing out that just because I'm able to do this doesn't mean that you'll be able to immediately buy LuxAlgo and start making a ton of money doing it. It takes a bit of experimenting, a bit of practice, and also a little bit of trading know-how. So with that being said, let's get started going through some of the results. I want to talk about two in particular, and this might surprise people that are used to YouTubers and people just talking about their wins all the time. Since I've started to have losses with these trades, I want to talk a bit about the losses rather than the wins. And so let's start with this loss, I think it was, the May 19th one. So yeah, so this one. So I put them into a slide to try and make things easier. I'll get into that in a sec. These are the trades. You can see I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 trades today. I was over trading a little bit. I did a mixture of calls and puts, mostly 0 DTE, except for the ones at the end here. One of which was this $390 loss, which I'm going to show in the next slide. So this is kind of the overall day. This is the subtotal profit loss for the day. I'm using a fairly large account. This isn't a significant amount of money to me. It's really nice to make it, but it's not. This is not me doubling or tripling my account or anything like that. So, alright, so here is the first loss for the day. I'm going to explain what happened and why I lost on it. So this is a LuxAlgo indicator. In the afternoon, I basically had this down signal right here. And because I've been winning so much on this, the psychology of it was, okay, cool, I'll just jump in, I'm sure it'll win, I'm doing really great. I'm going to jump into this. And what happened was basically we had a few half-hearted candles that kind of didn't really sell off. Ideally, you want to be seeing these go red. Purple candles on this chart starts to show that actually there's not much of a trend here. It's kind of struggling. And so that was my first warning sign. And then I realized that we're also very close to the smart trail, which is blue. I marked it in blue. And that's always an area you've got to be careful of. Often you'll get a bounce off of it, so you can see we got a bounce off of it here as well, and a bounce off of it or very close to it here as well. So my first mistake was thinking that, not really paying attention to where the smart trail was, but also not paying attention to what color the smart trail was. Ideally for a short like this, where you have a down red signal, you want to be below the smart trail and you want the smart trail to be red, right? So we zoom out where I can actually show you on the actual program here. So we go back to here, for example, like right here, you can see that there's a downward signal here, but we're underneath a red downwards trending, so you're going with the trend, right? So that's where you should be shorting, not when it actually shows a blue uptrend and you're close to it as well. So you can see it was respected on the bounce here. The trend was respected and this thing just kept going up. Luckily for me, as soon as I realized that this was what was happening, that I'd been too hasty, like it was too rushed, it was just a silly trade for me, I was able to take profits, well not profits, cut my loss very quickly. So remember, you don't enter straight away on these signals, because this is a 1 minute SPY chart by the way, and this, as it comes down, you have to wait until near the end of the candle before you enter, because these things can go off, right? So they flash, as soon as they should stay on once the candle has closed. So this thing started to sell off and I jumped in on this candle. And so you can see that we just kind of went sideways and then we started to have this big blue candle. As soon as we did this, I started to realize we were bouncing off here, that I'd made a mistake, that I jumped into this trade that was against the trend and I didn't like this candle. And as soon as this candle came in and started to go green, I took the loss of 12%. So you can see we're sort of from here to about here on SPY, but with these volatile contracts, that's still a 12% loss. And so that was the biggest mistake I made today. Over trading was a big part of it, getting overconfident because I've been doing pretty well with LuxAlgo, and so that was definitely a bit of a mess. So that was my problem. That was a stupid user mistake. Now the cool thing is in LuxAlgo you can actually set it so that that doesn't happen, right? You can discard any of those signals. And the way you do that is really simple. They have a bunch of filters. So you can go to the filters right here and you can go to Smart Trail Filter, and this will just set it so that I can basically have it so that it just doesn't show the ones that go against the trend. So, for example, if I take this off, so if I take this one, if I put the smart trail like this, it'll only show me the reds that align with the downtrends, the greens that align with the uptrends, And so if I get rid of that and I just put it to none, then you get more signals, but you'll get ones like this one that just popped up that you shouldn't take, right? Because you're in a downtrend, you're below the smart trail, it's red, and you're most likely going to see a rejection, and that's what you see. So that's a good example that just happened to pop up right there. So definitely something worth doing. Be careful with that. That being said, LuxAlgo isn't perfect, and although I found it to be really useful, and certainly with how I've got it set up, it's been really working well, there are occasionally trades that just don't work. And that was my second loss for the day. So I took these, sorry, I go back to my spreadsheet right here. So the bigger loss was actually this one, which was the 416 puts. So that was for 0 DTE though. So these ones, right? And so this story is a lot less my fault and a lot more LuxAlgo's fault. And of course, not all signals will be winners. I would say about, if you follow the rules that I've been using, I'd say about 80% are winners. But there's always, of course, the 2 out of 10 that don't work, and this is one of them. So of course you get this really nice entry signal. You're below the trend here. Great, right? That's a good entry. And the only thing here was we were starting to get close to the solid green reversal zone down here, which is not ideal. This thing would have been better if it been up here near the bearish reversal zone. So perhaps maybe that was part of the problem, right? You could say this is not the best. So of course I entered here, and then it immediately just kind of went against me. And as soon as the trail thing switched here and we got this green signal, I got out for a significant loss because of the volatility of these contracts being 0 DTE. And they were also very cheap contracts as well, so they went against me pretty quickly, and that resulted in this $620 loss right here. So those were the 2 losing trades. If we glance through the rest of the today on LuxAlgo, it was an interesting day. Definitely missed out on the end of the day here though. So one thing that some people have been confused about is, and I was talking to somebody about this earlier, is you can see that this can happen quite frequently, right? You have this down here. If you really want to turn these off with that filter that I showed you, so this one, where you go to Smart Trail Filter, because you can see how much better this looks, where you're just following this uptrend, than if you have these little down things in there as well. So I think I was showing somebody that earlier. If you're watching this, this is what you need to do. And so you can see how well respected these channels are, right? This is the uptrend for the bullish smart trail, and then this is the reversal zone. You can see we really do just follow this. It's really good. So a buy signal, take profits, more buy, take profits, take profits. So market really rallied almost to 420 at the end of the day, which was really nice. So you can see that was fantastic. And so you can see the different signals here. Wasn't the best days. There wasn't really a signal here worth talking about. Wasn't really much. So it was a difficult day, and it definitely showed with my overall profit and loss. To be honest, this is still a good number for the day. Not too worried. The overall profit and loss has changed significantly here. So definitely got, like, now we have 4 losses out of 18 trades. Yeah, so 4 losses out of 18 trades. Let's just see what that is. That's 4 divided by 8. So that would be 14 out of 18 wins. So we're still at a 78% win rate, which is still awesome. So I'm not complaining. And the cool thing is the losses are smaller or roughly the same size as the wins. So far so good. Still a small data set though. We'll revisit this when I'm at 100 trades rather than 18. And you see if things are still going as well. These notes that I'm putting in, bad trade, average in, took profits quickly. So this trade was interesting. It was technically it was a losing trade, but I was able to manage it in a way that I did escape. So you've got to be careful with some of my numbers here, trying to be as honest as possible. This trade was difficult. I was able to average in and average out to the point where I did make a win, but I suspect some people probably would have struggled with that one a little bit. This is the one I was talking about where the signal failed, nothing else could be done, and then this is the one where I shouldn't have gone bearish when it was in a bullish trend. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I know a lot of people are buying LuxAlgo based on these videos, and I hope that they're helping. If you have any particular questions or things you want me to review about it, let me know in the comments below, and I'll go through and I'll experiment with a few things. One thing I'm working on at the moment is some oscillator stuff, so I'm going to talk about that. I'm doing a full review article just on the oscillators, so I don't think I've covered them much in the one that you'll find in the link below. I just started talking about the ultimate stochastic and things. I'm doing a full review article and videos based on that, so it'll be something if you're interested in. Haven't really touched on it at all, but I've started to use it and I found some of them fairly useful, at least somewhat, so we'll see. Alright guys, till next time.